Hey guys, it's Daniel, just checking in. Today we're going to start the disassembly of the interior. I got a whole bunch of wool from Havelock Wool that we're going to use to insulation. I've kind of decided on the layout of everything on the inside. I'll share with you guys about that. Yeah, but let's get cracking to it. It's going to be a little while, so might as well get started. Alright, so this is the tool set I'm using. Just found it on Amazon. I'm going to try and start by disassembling and removing all the plastic paneling. Get behind there, vacuum it out hopefully. The dog's been having some fun. That's some old tape marks for some layout for the interior panels. See what's behind here, see what I can shore up and yeah, kind of clean up and kind of go from there. And then I got a nice big box of wool here, so we'll tackle that as well. I don't really plan on running too many wires. If I think I am, basically I'm going to try and figure out what's underneath this floor, since this is a passenger van. So it's got a little bit of a raised floor on it. And see if I can maybe run down to Lowe's or something and get some piping for it. Yeah. Got this side done. Haven't done the headliner yet. Haven't even cracked on with the right hand side. Things are brittle. Things are old. Things are dusty. So I'm going to clean everything. See what I can tidy up. There's a couple of ones still stuck in there. I'm going to try to get those out. And then start working on the headliner, which hopefully is a fairly straightforward process. But who knows? I've never done this before. Yesterday I was in Pennsylvania. Now I'm back here in Massachusetts. Yesterday we cracked on. We're starting the rebuild on the Mustang rally car. I'll show you a photo of it now, kind of our progress. But yeah, this is kind of going pretty smoothly so far. Didn't know it was 8 speakers. I'm thinking there might be a speaker back here as well. So if it is an 8-speaker model, that's kind of cool. It'd be nice to upgrade the stereo system, but that can come at a later date. I just kind of want to... It was like a 250, 260 mile trip yesterday, one way, and it was a little loud. So if we can kind of buff it and make a nice barrier with this insulation, it'll kind of be the first step. I can kind of visualize how things are going to be put in place again. Pretty straightforward process, but like I said, everything's kind of brittle and fragile. So I've already broken a couple pieces and all that good stuff. So we'll see how it goes back together. We're back insulating the van. I've actually got a little bit accomplished. I've done pretty much all other sides except for this one here that I'm disassembling now. It's pretty much a pain in the butt. It's a lot of broken clips, a lot of bent fingernails just to get around the pieces, and then a lot of the plastic is brittle, so it's been a big pain, but it's going together well. Just this past week with driving with just this side done, it sounds a lot quieter. All I'm using is this Havelock wool, and I'm not even really securing it in place with any adhesive or anything. I know I'm going to have to go back into these walls eventually and probably shore things up and do different things. There's a lot of channels. I was afraid that there was going to be, like in the cargo vans, you see a lot of just like blank wall. In the passenger van, because of the windows, I suspect, it's a lot tighter space and a lot more crevices that I can kind of stick it in. It's not going to be, you know, an amazing job, but it is going to help reduce hopefully the sound and also the vibration that you kind of get at highway speeds. Just using a simple pick, nothing crazy. These are pretty straightforward. Will they break and crack? Probably. But, and are they going to be a pain to get out? Definitely. All this stuff is just old. You know, it's been in place, probably put in place once and forgotten about. Surprisingly clean. I mean, it's dusty, but like the areas around the floor are pretty clean. I don't need my other tool for this one. I just picked up a cheap little plastic trim pry bar set on Amazon, and they came with like little picks like this. Pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy. I'm sure if you have ever done interior trim panels before on a vehicle, you have a set. But it was time for me to get one. Alright. So like, all my actual tools are on the bus. You know, you can show a picture of that. That's what we transport our rally car in. And it is a Council of Agent bus. It is loud. It is definitely not too comfortable, but definitely comfortable enough. We've gone quite far on that thing with probably like a bunch of people on it. But this is going to be, my goal with this thing is to really have a van that is smaller, can transport some people around the rally stage, you know, from service to Walmart, from the Airbnb or hotel to, you know, different places. I don't know where this dust is coming from. It's pretty bad. Well, let me grab a cloth and start wiping that down. Let's see. I don't know. So it's like dusty, but also just like undercoating. That's interesting. But we'll just do a quick little wipe. Looks like there's a good amount of electronics on this side, which is interesting. I see the 12 volt thing. I'm guessing all those up there might be, what, airbag sensors of some sort? This being the passenger model, has full airbags throughout the left and right hand side. I think that's probably one of the tethers there. And you can kind of see the system up there. I am happy to report that we did order the furniture. It has arrived, but that'll be another video. But in the meantime, let me get cracking on filling the voids. Basically, I'm putting this wool, shoving it in spots, making sure it's somewhat secure. I'm not using any adhesive or anything like that. Like I said, we're probably going to go back in there at some point and kind of redo things, or if this kind of works out, we'll reshore things up. I'm using this Havelock wool. It is literally just sheets of wool. I mean, I've torn into this, you know, cut it to proper sizes to fit in little narrow crevices and things like that. I like it. I didn't want anything that was too crazy in the sense of price and or kind of what you had to do. And this seemed to be like a nice mix of being able to kind of fit it into places, grab it, and kind of sling it about. This is all I'm doing. This is all I've been doing, is just kind of like, all right, will it fit here? Cool. Let's make sure it fits the whole way. Find a nice spot that it can kind of live. I was just doing one layer for most of these. It's just to give it a little bit more sturdiness, you know, while going over bumps and things. With that, if you guys have any suggestions on suspension systems for these, that'd be awesome. Because I am in desperate need of a little bit more suspension knowledge. I don't think I'm ever going to use this for true off-roading, you know, like the crazy Sprinter vans and things like that. But it would be nice to have the ability to go down a dirt trail, to go down around the, you know, around town that is all beat up with beat up roads. Another big thing is going to be window coverings. I'm thinking of touching base with the guys that do the livery on the rally car. Shout out Luxury Details. And having them do this rear window here, the two rear windows in the back door, then the other passenger rear window, with some nice decals and things like that. That's looking pretty good. And maybe some cool, something simple on the side, you know, some racing stripes, something a little cheesy. I'm all for the kind of retro cheesy vibe, especially on a van. I mean, doesn't get more cheesy than this. Let's see, I might have to cut some of these. It's simple enough. You can actually just tear them. It's pretty, you know, I'm not gonna say you can definitely take your time and do this more precise, but for what I am doing, this is gonna be just enough. Everything's a Torx on this van. Give me a little clippy. Oh no, got it with my finger. Nice. It's interesting. Sometimes it's like, I think people have been behind these panels before. But then it's like, maybe not. Maybe it's just age. This one, grab my little pry bar. Let's see what we got behind here. I could just take off the skin, you know? Ah, bugger. Alright, so it's kind of a fairly straightforward. Okay. Fun. More tools. Yeah, fortunately, this is pretty basic stuff. Wasn't really sure what I was getting into when I started this project. Didn't know how tough it would be. Seems to be kind of what I'm looking to do for the first phase. Fairly straightforward. Okay. Oh, my nemesis. These stupid metal clips around the windows and such, they're such a pain. Such a pain. Oh, this is going to have a... This might be a little bit more difficult than I thought. It's going to have the... what do we got here? So those are held on. The ramblings. Okay. Basically, it's going to have the window, or excuse me, the door mechanism somehow strung through here. So I can already see the cable going down. And actually, interesting. Okay. Because this is just a simple... This door has to open when the other door is open. So if you look at this, you got the cable going down to the kicker. We'll call it kicker. But I think that's about it. So this should be fairly easy to remove, hopefully. Just got stung by a wasp thing that's just kind of chilling. See a little white round spot right in front of you. This little guy just chilling on this box decided to sting me. I'm like, what the f***? I don't know if I even crushed him. I crushed him with my hand. I just don't even know if he's still alive. So I'm gonna put this back together, and it'll be a montage from now on. Fun fact, there's this little screw underneath the rear reflector down there. That was a pain in the butt. Didn't realize I was there for quite a while. Right now, just putting back the little trim pieces for the doors. Kinda, you know, the goal of this build is to have a comfortable spot, be relatively easy to commute in. A lot quieter than it is. It's not bad, but you know, You do just want the interior to be as quiet as possible. And we're never going to take this to sit on a glacial fort or something like that for days on end, or, you know, sit in extreme cold for hours and hours, or trying to sleep in the thing. This is primarily commuting around and going on road trips. You know, we'll stop in a hotel. We will plop into an Airbnb or some sort, you know, when we get there. It'd be nice to sit back and take an hour or two to recoup on a long road trip. And that's the point of this, you know, is to insulate, make it comfortable, and make it a little bit more fun. A little bit more road oriented with the off-road kick. I was thinking, you know, really thinking about it. How do we kind of tick all the boxes? And it really depends on what we plan on doing. I mean, suspension and things are going to be fairly robust, but straightforward. You know, nothing crazy. Nothing too wild. This isn't going to be, you know, a 5-inch lifted van that's going to take on the Mojave Desert or anything like that. But I do want to be able to send it down some stage roads comfortably and confidently. And also just conquer pavement. I mean, this thing is fun. I've been driving it for, what, 3 weeks now? Monday through Friday. It's a pretty fun little vehicle. Pretty compliant. The front end, obviously, it's a van, so it is missing a lot of steering capabilities, but we'll get there. But now we're just buttoning everything back up. It did enough, you know. My finger kind of hurts from being stung by the wasp. So I'm going to button this up, take it for a little road trip, and see how the sound levels are now that it's a little bit more deadened. Oh, and in the next video, I did receive all of the furniture, so we'll start building that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully it all fits, but it's kind of like not built to order, but sized right. It is a very modular platform, which is ideal for what we're looking for, meaning I can remove it if I ever need to, or if I, you know, want to turn this to upgrade this even further, or add, you know, more insulation behind the walls. Nothing will be inaccessible with the setup. So that's awesome. It took me quite a while to find a company that kind of had what I was looking for, and I'll leave a link to TNT Vans, because I think not only was it a product that's kind of unique, the customer service so far has been amazing. They've been super responsive to my emails, my weird questions, my weird diagrams. So, and they genuinely seem like they enjoy answering your questions. So it was very, very nice to work with them. Even when the stuff arrived, I got a thank you email, and you could tell that it was not a canned email. It was actually written by the owner or creator, asking, you know, stating that he saw that the delivery was made. How's everything looking? I haven't replied to it because it was pouring that day, and we had to move all that stuff into the basement real quick. Yeah, but we're buttoning this up, finishing up this side. I'll button all this panels back in. We'll go from there.